Welcome to Woodlands North. Today we brought with us our winter camping gear and we're getting into it next. Winter camping, it can be so much fun, but of course there are inherent dangers involved with it due to the cold temperatures we face. That's why you need to really plan and think about each item in your kit. I've attempted to do that here, and the items in this kit are suitable for a trip down into the low 20s. That's for me. Everybody's a little bit different, so take this with a grain of salt. Definitely do your own experimentation with the gear that you have to make sure it's suitable for you. Depending on the location and temperature that might be going on during each trip, some of these items might be substituted for others. I will make an attempt to explain the substitutions I make as we go along. Also, the base weight of this kit, so without water, food, camera gear, is at 26.4 pounds. Definitely not an ultralight setup. I am aiming to shed some weight off of it, and I will explain a little bit more about that as we go along. Okay, before we get into the pack, I want to show you what I typically carry on me. I definitely like to layer up, usually have 4 layers or so that I can shed as I need to, and I do have some extra clothes in the pack as well. Definitely a good pair of quality gloves, good pair of quality boots, decent pair of pants, going to hold up to thorns and things that might happen while you're working or bushwhacking in the woods. Always have a knife on me of some kind, and of course I'll have my phone, keys, and things like that. The first item I'm going to show you is the SOL, I think it's called the sport sheet or something like that, but what it is actually a really robust space blanket. And you can see here, there are also grommets in each end. So you can actually make a survival shelter, fire reflector pretty quickly. I've actually loaded this with wood and hauled it around. So it's pretty thick, pretty robust. And I think it's going to have multiple uses, which is why I bring it around. And it weighs in at about 9 ounces. Okay, so I've emptied my top pouch. And first thing I'm going to show you here is, again, another multi-use item. This is called the Klymit Cush. And it's something that you can use for a pillow. Weighs around 3.3 ounces, and it also has double uses that I can just blow it up quickly, and then I can use it as a sit pad or a kneel pad. Keeps me off the ground. Well done. This orange pack here is just a washroom kit. Hopefully I don't need to go too deep into that. Just some toilet paper, some wipes, some tablet towels, things like that. And here is just my sanitary kit here. I've got some deodorant, just an extra wipe, never hurts to have a few of those around, and a small little kit here. Toothbrush, some soap, some cream, and some mouthwash. Of course, I've got a good pair of leather work gloves, so around camp I could still keep warm to some degree anyway, and get my work done. Okay, something I keep in my side pouch here, tools. And of course you've seen this on a lot of my videos. This is my Gransfors Brooks wildlife hatchet. Definitely one of my favorite pieces of gear up till this point anyway. Just something I really enjoy having around. And of course you can get some work done with this. You could split wood and do all sorts of things. Something else that's really quickly becoming my favorite is my Condor Hudson Bay. I beat this thing like it's owed me money, and never complained. Done everything I've asked of it. Split some super hard wood right through the knots, and no problems at all. One thing I'm finding is, since I've gotten this knife, I'm using the axe less and less, so I'm considering possibly dropping it at some point. Not ready to do that yet, but just something I'm considering. Also, you've seen this in my videos as well, my silky gomboy. Awesome saw. I've cut a lot of wood with this. Serves me well, fairly light, works really well. Depending on the trip, I might bring the silky big boy, which is going to add a few ounces but can cut larger logs. Next thing I'm going to get into is our shelter, and the first thing you see here is the Snugpack hammock cocoon. This thing is awesome, but it's the biggest and bulkiest piece of my kit. Weighs in at about 4.5 pounds. Definitely a great addition to my kit, but it does add bulk and weight. The price is right and it does work well, and I did do a full review on this guy if you're interested. Now this thing here is a Warbonet Superfly tarp. So I've gone to a hammock, and this thing really keeps the elements out, keeps the wind out. Really great product, really light, and compresses down really small. Okay, the next thing is an ENO Doublenest Hammock. And I know a lot of people don't seem to like these, but I just keep finding that it's the simplest and easiest hammock to set up. It's set up in seconds. I don't seem to need to adjust it, and it's comfortable for me. Not the lightest hammock, but it does the job, and you know, it's a decent size. And of course, these are the straps for it. Also in that side pouch, I've got a Nalgene 48-ounce water bottle full. I also have some cordage here and some spikes for the tarp. And this is what I call my catch-22 kit. Whatever I really can't find room for elsewhere ends up in here. So I have things like a tick remover, needed nowadays, just some extra soap, inside here I just have some extra knives, some extra tape, a towel, whistle, extra batteries. There's a like a DC4 knife sharpener in there in case blades need some attention. And I do have a basic med kit. Now, if my kids are coming, I'll definitely bring more than this. This is just the real basics. Some gauze, some antiseptic wipes, some band-aids. There's some pills in there. Things like that. Just really basic, but again, I don't really have the skills to do major repairs in the woods, so this is what I bring. Of course, Gerber multi-tool. I've got a carving knife here in case I want to do some whittling. I've got my Petzl, oh I'm sorry, this is actually a P-Tech headlamp, and just some extra carabiners. You never know when you might need one of those. Okay, now starting to get into the contents of the pack. See here, the lid has some area here. This is my fire kit. You've seen this if you've watched my channel. I use it all the time. I brought some tinder, some homemade fire starter. I've got a couple of lighters. I've got a small little peanut lighter, a Bic lighter. I've got my Uberleben fire striker. I've got some magnesium shavings. So this is awesome. It's worked really well for me. This here started bringing with me a while ago, and I actually really love it. It's an Ivation lantern. So it opens like that. You could solar charge it, and it's can flash. It actually does provide a lot of light. I think it's actually pretty low on battery right now because I've used it recently. But the one thing I do like about it is you can charge your USB devices from it. So it does have a small battery in there, and if you have, you know, a rechargeable headlamp or something like that, you can set this to charge during the day, charge up the battery, and charge your other devices. So it's something that I don't mind bringing with me, and found it pretty useful. And inside here, just a garbage bag. Never know if you might need to line your pack, or you know, you can make a makeshift jacket with it, whatever you need to do. Okay, and here's just my little food kit. And again, this is going to change with every trip. Just got a little mess kit in here with, of course, I just bring some paper towels with me. And I'm testing out some of these right now. Got Sea to Summit plates and a Sea to Summit mug. This is a little GSI spatula. Works great for flipping patties and stuff like that. Stuff that I do a lot of in the woods, actually. Then of course I've just got my regular stuff in here. I've got some coffee, some bars, some snacks. I've got a this is a Packet Gourmet Dinner Deluxe Scrambled Eggs. Done a lot of this on my channel, and just show you how these are made. These are awesome. Packet Gourmet makes some great stuff. What I've got for you here is my water filtration kit, and everything seems to fit nicely in this Maxpedition pouch. And you can see well, maybe you can't see, this is a Sawyer mini filter. And I did bring some extras because I've actually made this like a gravity feed system, so I can grab some water, hang it from a tree, and just let it purify while I'm doing other tasks. Now this syringe here, this is like a back flush for the Sawyer mini. It's not typically needed on short trips, but what I've noticed that in the winter this thing tends to freeze, and then you run into some issues there. So what I've started doing was, after I've used this, I just use the syringe to pump air through it and get rid of any water that might be there, and this seems to work great for me. Again, if there's snow around, you can just melt snow, but that's not always a guarantee. So for a few ounces I'm bringing the Sawyer filter. Okay, and for my cook kit, this is my GSI Pinnacle Soloist. If you've been on my channel, you've seen this many times. I did do a review on this some time back, and this is just the one kit that I just can't seem to get rid of. It just it's something that works, something that was reasonably priced, and something that definitely I'm going to keep around. So it comes here with this cover, A, to keep the soot out of your pack, B, you can use this to kind of wash some dishes, put some soap water, clean things up. This is to scrape the pot after you open it up. You got your lid. Got an insulated mug. And inside here I've got my little GSI stove. Works really well, and I'm able to fit a canister in here, so I can actually get quite a few boils and quite a few flames out of this, and everything fits perfectly in here, and you know, takes up very little space and works really well for me. Part of my sleep system is this down quilt. This one is made by Jacks or Better, and I don't remember the model number of this, or the model name, sorry, of this, but it weighs in about 18 or 19 ounces. I remember I did get it overfilled a little bit, and this thing, super warm, compacts into nothing, and weighs just, you know, a few ounces. Definitely worth the wait. By itself this wouldn't keep you warm, but in conjunction with the Snugpack cocoon, my sleep system, it does work well and keeps me warm into the low 20s. Okay, one of the last pieces of my kit here is the clothing bag here. So this is a MEC, it's like a REI, I guess, 7-liter pack. Okay, and I have a nice wool shirt. I can use this as a base layer. I usually throw this on at night before I go to sleep. Nice and warm and nice and dry. And this type is a Mountain Hardwear vest, compacts into nothing. It's a down vest, keeps you warm if I need another layer, or at night if I'm cold. I've actually, this unzips into a vest, and basically at night I've taken this out because my feet were cold, put it into a vest, zipped it up, and stuffed my feet inside it, kept them warm. These are a pair of Gore-Tex pants. When the snow really comes down and you're bushwhacking, be glad you have these. Keeps you dry, keeps you warm. Just some wool underpants, some wool long johns. This here weighs hardly anything. It's a wind shirt by Rab, so it's not super breathable, but it does keep the wind off you. And sometimes I find if you're hiking and it's cold, this will actually do just fine to keep the wind off you and keep you just warm enough to keep your hike going. If things do get super cold, balaclava. I have an extra pair of gloves here. These are super warm. I don't know what material they are. They are awesome, super warm. And of course, an extra pair of socks. Bandana, and again, another wool beanie. You never know when you know, you might get super chilled. Or this one I find it's thin enough that it does breathe really well, and this is a great cap to sleep in. Okay, last but not least is the backpack. This is the Snugpack Rocket Pack. This thing is awesome, has a bunch of features. I'm going to do a review on it for you, and you know, this thing is bulletproof. I love the storage, and just the way it carries is really well. Only problem is it weighs in about 4.5 pounds, so that is definitely not the lightest pack out there, but for now it's what I got. Works well, does everything I need. Okay, so now that you've seen my winter camping kit, you know, let me say that it was a lot of fun to put all this together, and it's something I've been working on it's taken time. If you're going to do your own, you know, I've had to try some things that just didn't work. Other people swear by them, but didn't work for me. And there's things that other people can't seem to use but do work for me. So, you know, just take your time and build your kit carefully. You don't want to just go and buy any old gear. Even the gear I have, because it works for me, may not work for you. You want to buy your own gear, test your own gear, and you know, test it in a controlled environment. Don't plan, you know, a major backwoods excursion without fully knowing your gear and what works for you. Well, I really hope you enjoyed that video. I had fun being out here, love being out here making videos for you guys. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to my channel. I'd love to see you in the next video. Till then, take care.